Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Zoe. I'm a freelance hairdresser and makeup artist, and I am giving everyone the reality of living as a self-employed girl, obviously living on her own, funding everything on my own. I'm a single parent as well, so I would love to expand and show my story of day to day, really real, no kind of BS or anything like that. And because I think that these days it's getting to the point where the influencer era, I feel like, is coming to definitely an end, and girls want to see something that's a little bit more real, a bit more down to earth, and not this kind of consumerism and buy this, buy that, and if you don't, then you're not good enough. I feel like we're moving past the time where we have to be consuming everything in sight. You need this to be able to feel validated and to feel good enough. I think that we're moving more into the era of wanting to kind of come back within. I know that I've been doing a lot of work on myself in 2025 and aim to going into 2026 as well. So this channel is super real, super down to earth. You won't catch me flogging you anything unless I genuinely believe that it improves your life or your hair and beauty routine. Obviously we've got to look cute while doing it. But it's kind of not this shallow kind of this shallow angle that I'm coming from. My aim is to inspire people to become a better version of themselves, whether that's financially, spiritually, like business wise, career wise. So yeah, that's I mean, it's kind of a bit of everything on this channel now. So yeah, I don't really have any set topics that I'm going to cover. I'm just going to kind of go with it and speak as if I'm speaking to one of my clients. I mean, some of my clients, we have the deepest conversations, and I feel like sometimes a lot of hairdressers will agree that it is like a counselling session for both parts. I've had clients kind of crying on me. I've cried to some clients as well when I've been going through kind of crazy times in my own life, and I think that the support of women coming together, no matter what kind of scenario they're in, feeling the love and the community of being around women is so important, and you can feel the kind of energy shift from like kind of the beginning of the appointment when you just delve a little bit and kind of allow someone to have that safe space to be able to enjoy being around you enough so that they do feel like they can open up if they want to. I think that's really important as any professional, especially when you're working in their own personal space as well, whether that be in their home, in their office, amongst their families. It's a very, very niche thing what we do when you're dealing with that type of situation. What I find is that when you're in their home, when you're in their space, there's no kind of boundary and there's no barrier. I mean, I've worked in salons, and I find that when people are out in public, there is very much their kind of public persona that they put on of like everything's fine and everything's all good. But then when you're in the home, people can't hide it as easily. So you just have to be very sensitive, and I pride myself on being very knowing that and setting up my own boundaries and knowing that it's you're in their personal space, so you do have to respect that. Even when you're working around somebody's head, the energy is more concentrated around the head and the crown chakra, and I find that you can sense the energy. Me personally, I've become very, very sensitive in the last couple of weeks even to sensing energy, and it's quite scary actually, because I've done a lot of work on myself, a lot of yoga, spiritual work and deep energy healing, and I find recently that I feel like everybody is going through their own thing, really. And I think that there is a weird energy over the UK. I've been to different countries recently and I don't feel the same there. I do think that I think it's a very kind of political thing. I will never get onto the subject of politics within my whole life. I just kind of, for me, it's not something that I want to take part in. It's not something that I want to get into the subject with. I feel like everybody's always going to kind of agree, disagree, and everyone's entitled to their own opinions and their own views on everything. Like, life is all about perception, and it's exactly how you can perceive it yourself. So these are the type of conversations that I'm kind of constantly going round in my own mind. I'm not your average hair and makeup artist that just kind of wants to talk about what's going on in Love Island. Sorry, no offence, but it's not. That's, for me, life is a lot deeper than that, and it's intriguing and it's interesting, and I love different like kind of perspectives. I ask a lot of questions to people that interest me, and I just think life is all about learning as well. So whether that's about hair and makeup, learning a new skill, learning social media, doing like even just literally anything, that's what life is all about. And I feel like it's very important to keep that wanting to learn all the time. I have, over the years, tried so many different things, I've learned, like, snowballed my skills in the hair and beauty industry, and I don't ever rule anything out, because sometimes you'll say things, and like at one time years ago when I was like 20, I said that I would never do makeup. Like, I hated it. I hated being in people's faces, and now makeup is my main thing, and I absolutely live and breathe it. And I am constantly researching different ways, new skills, new kind of clients to aim at, and that's part of the creative industry as well. So it's all about, I was listening to this podcast recently, and it was saying that the importance of being creative, and it's all about like the chakras and how it all aligns and what our purpose is. I think, in my own kind of humble opinion, is the key to happiness in life is to carry out your soul's purpose. And not everybody knows. I was very, very lucky. I knew from such an early age that that's what I wanted to do, and my mum kind of really supported it and pushed me into it. My dad taught me work ethic and how to successfully launch a business and keep a business. He taught me all the principles of and how to be with people, because I think a lot, especially in the service industry, running a business is all about how you are with people. It doesn't matter how amazing from a technical point of view you are. You can have like the best winged liner on the planet, and if you're not a people person and you don't know how to respond to people, it'll be very hard. So I would say mastering people and how to respond to people is probably one of the best life skills you can do. When I was 20, I worked in a bar, and it was the most crazy bar. It was more like a nightclub, and it started out quite a nice cute little restaurant, and then kind of come 10 o'clock it would turn into the most kind of crazy place. And I absolutely loved working there. Worked there every weekend. My tips alone used to pay for my petrol to be able to launch doing what I'm doing now. And I do feel like it funded and it helped me start. I mean, at first, when I first started set up my own business, I was earning like £400 a month, and my tips would at least pay for my fuel, so I could kind of snowball it from there. But the skills that working in a bar taught me was how to deal with every single type of person, whether they are super difficult, off the face, drinking alcohol, obviously doing worse things than that, where they were just not even like conscious sometimes. Sometimes it would really kick off as well, and it was quite dangerous at times. So but it was only really when I finished working there and I grew up a little bit that I realised like how much it had actually benefited me, and it grew me as a person, grew my confidence so much in being able to deal with different types of people from all walks of life and under the influence. And it was only really when I started to build my own business that I realised that the skills from that definitely translated. If somebody was a little bit difficult or someone wasn't quite happy, it's dealing with that in the right way and not just blocking them as soon as they have a bit of an issue. Recently, I had my lips tattooed a couple of months ago now, and the guy had done my lips like quite a few times in the past, like just like the liner and everything, and he it didn't take basically this one time, and he's done them perfectly in the past, and then on this occasion it just didn't take at all. And I mean, I've had a lot of tattoos, I can tell when the ink hasn't taken, and I just messaged and said I'm really sorry, but it's just not taken this time. Just wondering whether I could come in a couple of days. I was going on holiday as well with my daughter, and he basically just like kicked off right from the off, like started being really difficult with me, didn't apologise, didn't even admit that he obviously hadn't done something quite right, and then he actually ended up blocking me. So he's been in business for quite a long time as well, so I was really shocked. I do a lot of clients that he does as well, so I was really kind of disappointed about how he taught me, how he treated me, but it taught me a lesson as well, because I just thought that could have just been so easily rectified if he'd have just been like, I'm really sorry, something's not quite happened. It's happened to all hairdressers at one time where, I don't know, someone's greys haven't quite taken properly and you just have to do it again. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not like he's paralysed someone's face or something like that. It was a very easily rectifiable thing, but now I tell everybody about that situation and they're quite shocked at who this person is, because they know of him as well. So it's kind of taught me how not to be, basically, and never to make somebody feel that kind of isolated. It did result in him giving me half the money back, but that was only because I was telling people that he didn't want to know about how he treated me, so I got half the money back. It wasn't really a big issue, but it just taught me how not to be in the industry. I think that the way everything is these days, it's to be able to warrant the prices that you're charging, you have to go above and beyond to warrant those prices, to justify those prices. People want value more now than they ever have. So if you're charging a certain amount for hair and makeup, it's not just about turning up and doing somebody's makeup. It has to be 100%. You have to be the service, you have to be the energy, the vibe that somebody wants around when they're getting ready for their occasion. So this is something that I'm really passionate about, because like that scenario, I've been in those situations where you just feel completely ripped off. You feel like the price isn't justified, and it gives everybody in our industry a bad name, to be fair. So what I'm aiming to do is help other professionals to be able to up their service, up their everything about what they do in an efficient way. So it's something that I cover in my my book that I've got. It's called From Passion to Profit. So it's kind of turning your passion and what you love. It can be applied to anything in the hair and beauty business and industry, and it's been so well kind of like itemized in exactly how to build, and basically everything that I've always struggled with since I was 19, 20 years old. I'm 35 now, so it's a long time. I have made every single mistake that you could possibly make, from wasting so much money, setting up businesses that I didn't really have a plan for, throwing too much energy and too much money into something that actually doesn't end up being your kind of, it doesn't align with where you want to be. Things change. You can kind of go down a road like I did with my beauty truck. That came really down to God's plan, and I genuinely believe that, not to be too kind of hippie and spiritual, but that was God's plan, because it was something that I put so much energy, so much money, so many sleepless nights into, and it was how I met my daughter's dad, and it's led me to be in a better place with my life, to be honest. I mean, having a child wasn't in my plan. Not gonna lie. It wasn't some. If you'd have asked me 2 years ago, do you want kids, I would have been like, yeah, I'll take it or leave it. Really, it's not something that I'm seeking out. I love being on my own. I love being single. I love kind of just focusing on my own self, and yeah, but it turns out that was in my path, and she's the best thing that I've ever done and ever will do in my entire life. Anyone who has had the blessing of a child can completely relate in the fact that you think you love someone, you think that you want money, and you want cars, and you want like anything. You just do not. Sorry, she's causing absolute carnage behind me, and I'm trying to just like get on with my thing. But yeah, I mean, it is just the best thing that I would ever do in my entire life, and it's gave me so much more kind of focus, so much more drive. Everything now is about her and building her future, and you reflect on your own childhood, you reflect on your own conditioning as a child, what was said to you, what was not said to you, what you were taught, what you weren't taught, and it's the most triggering, most humbling experience that you could ever go through. And I feel like now she's nearly 2, I've got to that point where I feel back to some kind of my normal self again. Not that it's my normal self, because everything changes in your life, that you will never be yourself, your old self, ever again. I mean, it kind of goes from deciding what like event you're going to go to on the weekend, or what like time your yoga class is going to be, or what car you want to get next, to then kind of, oh God, is she developing properly? Is she happy? You kind of start figuring out what your words are, what you're saying around them, and it is just the most crazy roller coaster of a time. And I just feel like those postpartum, I'm definitely going to do more videos about postpartum and about how hard it is, the reality of it, and my own experiences. Is definitely, I mean, a roller coaster is an understatement. I wouldn't have it any other way. Well, it's all fun and games anyway. So, yeah, over the weekend that's just gone, I had a huge bridal party at Petherton Castle. It was a gorgeous wedding, to be fair. I did like 9 girls' hair and makeup. I took my sister with me, and it was I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but when I have a wedding, my mum comes and stays at mine the night before, so she can just kind of like look after my baby while I just go, and this bride has to be ready for 1:30, so we did like a really strict itinerary of exactly who was having what when, and it worked out really, really well. So both my sisters are hairdressers as well, so if I have got a big bridal party, I will take either both of them or one of them with me. This time Nadia came with me, which was amazing. So she's just had a baby as well. So we set off. We got there for about 7 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And yeah, got them all ready. So it was absolutely gorgeous. Had an amazing weekend. Got some really nice content, some nice pictures. And me and my sister, we're the types of people that we could literally just be in like a blank, like white walled cell together, and we would have a laugh. Like, I always say that I feel like I'm like drunk when I'm with her, and she says that she feels the same. So we just vibe off each other. We're in our own world. Like, I always call us like that we're actually soulmates, because we've just got this mad connection that nobody really needs. It's like it's unspoken, and everybody else kind of feels like it's us in our own world when it's me and her together. So we had such a gorgeous day. We went for lunch after it without the babies, so it was nice just to have a little bit of sister time. So it was just really nice. And then we went to go and get our little babies and had cuddles and watched a film and just had like a nice cup of coffee and stuff. So I feel like days like that are days where it's so amazing to work for yourself, and you get that freedom, you get that choice of, I do want to do this client or I don't. And that's not in an arrogant way. That comes from having worked in horrible salons where you're forced into working and you've got to do you've got to do it by somebody else's rules. So some days you just wonder why you don't just go and get a 9-to-5 job, and it's so hard. But days like that make it so that it's worth it, and they make it so that you think, oh, I'm on top of the world, I love doing what I'm doing, I'm feeling creative. So it just kind of gets to that point where you've got to kind of ride the roller coaster, basically. So anyway, I feel like, I hope that you've got to know me a little bit more. I hope that you're enjoying what you're listening to. It's basically just me waffling on, and I'm just kind of getting warmed up, to be honest, because I love speaking and sharing my story, and I just speak to so many people on a day-to-day basis, and I think that they think a preconception of me. I think they think that oh, she's got pink hair and she's got tattoos, like she's either going to be really kind of like out there and frankly a bit maybe rough, or maybe a bit, I don't know. I think that they just kind of maybe don't think that I'm as kind of down to earth and as honest and out there as what maybe I look. I have got some really kind of interesting people in the pipeline to potentially start doing like a podcast with, and having conversations with other really interesting people, other business owners, and I'm really looking forward to kind of building my confidence up enough to be able to do something like that as well. I only really surround myself with people that are driven, that are kind of focused, and that are kind of doing something that means something as well. So because these days it's not about all the shallow stuff. Like I can't believe that people still believe in that and still kind of feed into it in this day and age. But that's the topic for another day. I'm taking my daughter to go to see Santa on a little cruise tonight, so she's waiting patiently, bless her, to go on that. So that's all from me. If you want to follow me on social media, it's Zowie, Zowye, and it's my Beaut Co on most social media. I don't really post a lot and keep it really relevant. But yeah, I hope you have a gorgeous week, and I'll see you soon.